Hey, I'm Chroma, and I've created my toughest challenge yet for one of my favorite games of all time. I call it the Gauntlet. The rules are as follows. I must play friends versus friends in only 1v1 games and win a match with every single character. I have to land a hat trick, that being 3 wins in a row. And I have to complete the challenge in only 7 days. Will I complete the challenge? Let's find out. But first, let me explain how the game works. Friends vs. Friends is a player versus player first-person shooter game crossed with a deck builder. First off, you select your character. Each one has its own special perk. Like how Moose can double jump, Donnie has extra health, and Dingo gets 3 useless cards. After that, you build a deck of cards to bring into a match. They can buff, debuff, change the map, or even grant you weapons. Once you enter a match, you automatically draw a few cards from your deck that you can play at any point. After that, you draw more cards each round, and it lasts until all of the players of the opposing or your team die 3 times. Now onto the challenge. The first character was Spike Remington, a cat with extra damage dealt from all sources. His portion was one of the easiest, only lasting 2 games, as his ability grants a buff that doesn't change my playstyle. After playing with Spike, I was very optimistic about the challenge. Next off was my actual main, Moose Salto, who grants a double jump, and I went in feeling pretty good about the challenge, but after that, I may have rage quit. Not my proudest moment, but I was able to lock in and win my 4th game. Next up is Duck Anderson, who grants a weed card each round that heals you for 40 HP. We don't talk about game 1. But game 2 was pretty easy. After Duck, I was on a roll. I won my first games with DJ Newton, Little Lars, and McRaver, granting me an easy hat trick. Newton grants extra accuracy, Lars with reduced damage taken to explosions, and Mick grants the Brass Hopper, a fast-firing SMG. This was truly the highlight of the challenge because I got to complete a hat trick. After those 3, I had to play as Donnie B, who grants an extra 30 HP. I was excited to play them until my first game. Luckily, I was able to clutch up in the next game. But this is when I was starting to fear the upcoming parts of the challenge. Next up, I hit another hat trick. First was Stevie Gone, granting the Golden Boira, a direct upgrade to the standard gun. Outright one of the best characters in the game, he was pretty easy to win with. Next was Roberto Mulligan, who grants the perk of your opponent, but due to me not fighting against a game-changing perk such as Margarita or him, it was pretty easy. Anyway, I then landed on Haru, who grants a 10% speed buff, and due to the extra mobility, I was able to leverage a clean win. Next off was the toughest character to play, Sable Santana. Sable's perk grants you a katana, which is a melee weapon that allows for you to hold right-click and block gunshots. Now, it doesn't seem so bad until you actually play in a match with it. See, against a newer player, holding W may work. Any experienced player can easily shut down a Sable, as you rely on mobility and stealth to even get to deal damage. In fact, it took a grand total of 12 games to eke out a win. A nice break from Sable. Cluster Jr. grants you 2 mini turrets to use, however, they are worse than the standard cat turret. It only took me 2 games though, with the first of which being me getting outskilled. Next up is Margarita Kala, who has a very unique perk. That being that when playing 3 cards of the same color in a row, you get a buff. And here's what they are. 3 greens grants 40 HP, reds give the opponent rubber bullets at level 1, purples grant nuke, yellows akimbo, blue 2 bombs, pink grants... Got it? Good. Anyway, I didn't do much with it, trying to force a use out of the perks, but it just landed in me outskilling them. Dingo, as bad as it sounds, grants 3 garbage cards in your hand each match. It doesn't do much, but with cards like Bomb Lever combined with Lottery Ticket, you can add more garbage and use them to shoot bombs. I didn't really do any of that, and instead left the match up to pure skill and stomped the match. Next is Dale Donovan, and wait, yeah, I don't have Dale just yet, and I'm on the last day. Yeah, I spent an unholy amount of matches grinding for levels to unlock Dale. By this point, I didn't even want to keep playing. It was pretty bad. Okay, now it's time for Dale. He sees opponent's footsteps and deals somewhere between 20 and 56% extra damage from behind an opponent. I was nervous as I didn't have much time to play. It was my first time even playing him, and it was the last day. And did I win? Yes. Yeah, that was pretty anticlimactic. It was a fun challenge, but a little easier than expected. Friends vs. Friends is very fun though, and if I had to rate it, I'd give it a clean 8 out of 10. It's an indie gem that I would 100% recommend that anyone who's anyone should play.